On this episode of the J. Reagan channel we will discuss and install this eBay special electronic ignition kit. This was a pretty cheap and easy install. The only issue was my lack of following the directions. This is not an HEI setup. Let's see how I made out. How do you like my AI voice?
Okay, so I did go out and switch out the spark plugs, just because I'm going to go to the electronic ignition and I want a different plug, but I'm looking at the plugs that came out of it and they look really nice. So I'm glad that at least looks good. Let's give it a test drive with the NGKs, see if it does any difference. They're down there, you can see them in the trash can. See if that makes any sort of difference. Probably won't. I didn't do it for performance. I did it more for once I moved to the electronic ignition. It was suggested that you run this type of plug. Here's the test drive with the NGK plugs for what it's worth. Shift points are real good now. I did back off that cable a little bit. Still no kickdown. Plugs make any difference? Nah, I can't tell a difference, although they're not missing. I don't know if I'm going to get finished this, but I do have the old distributor out. I found a kind of interesting thing here, that this bolt for the distributor was really loose. I guess I never tightened it up one time when I adjusted the timing, so I'm sure that didn't help out the engine too much, running wise. Here's the old distributor, which really isn't that old. I purchased this because the car did not have a distributor when I bought it. I have to take this bottom plate off and put that on the new distributor, and we'll drop that in. Okay, you got the ECU mounted. Got the, what I think is the correct wiring. Got the new distributor in. Hopefully this is somewhat close. What do you think? Do you think it'll fire off the first time? All right, start. I think the timing's a little off. Let's fix that a little. Let's go from one extreme to the other. Probably have to settle somewhere in the middle. All right, let's try the other direction. I'm obviously going to have to do some finagling with this. It's total other direction. All right. Somewhere in the middle. Yeah, that's the middle. I get the feeling I may have to do something with the bottom plate of the distributor. I have it set in the middle, but when I took it off, it was sort of to one end. There, something's not quite right. Let's see if we can figure this out. Could also be this choke. Since that was new, it is wide open. It's I closed the choke plate on it. Shouldn't be that cold though, but we'll see. This is one of those things where you do too much in one day, and perhaps that is the root of your issues. I don't know why I did that. I know why I did that, because a lot of people say I mumble, and I do. I forgot to put the battery cable back on. Doofus. I ain't a doofus. Well, it has something to do with the choke. The choke stay open. Let's try it with the choke open. I don't think I have this choked out in yet either. Alright, definitely got too much timing. Well, let's play around with that. Where's it at now? Alright, so can you see down there? It's a little hard to see. I really can't adjust the distributor. It wants to go more advanced, I believe. And I can't do that because the bracket is hitting the block. So I think I have to kind of pull this out again. And of course now it's 1,000 degrees. And loosen that bolt. I think that bolt on the underside needs to go to the extreme the other way. So we're gonna mess around with that.
Jay is a total doofus. This is what happens when you forget to bring the directions. A couple of days later and we'll give this another shot with the directions.
Took the distributor out, and we're going to take out the spark plug and find top dead center. Here's the new electronic distributor. The thing that always kind of gets me confused on these is the this back bolt. I know when I had this on there, I had it to one side, and I'm gonna have to check the video to see where it was, because that will determine how much movement you have. And I realized before with this that somewhere in the middle really doesn't work, and I think there's a little bit of a storyline or story mark right there. So I think that it was, see if I can point to it with my pinky, I think it was right there. So I'm going to loosen that up and move that over, and we're going to follow the directions. So we'll be back. Okay, so here's how I do this, and other people do it as well. Number one spark plug is out. See it? Also, you want to make sure that the car doesn't start when you do this. This car can't start because it has no distributor, no coil, or anything like that. So what I'm going to do is connect the battery. I go in the car and turn the ignition on, which the keys are all the way over here. Rainy day. Where are my keys? Here they are. Ooh, my coffee. Drink that. Let's see if my Yeti keeps it cool, warm enough. Not bad. Put that there. Let's turn the ignition on. Where are you, trapezoid key? Got right, you're in there. Ignition is on. And trying to put you in a spot where you might be able to see. So what I'm going to try to do is feel the compression on my finger. So you want to set this for top dead center on the compression stroke, because there's two strokes where the piston, number one piston, will be at the top of its travel on the compression stroke and also on the exhaust stroke. You want to get it on the compression stroke. So we're gonna, without getting any digits or fingers, I'm gonna stick my finger, bend over in the spark plug tube. Then I'm gonna kick over the engine. And then I'm gonna feel the pressure of the piston come up, the compression of it. Right there, I feel it. Did you hear it too? All right, that's the piston coming up. Now what I do is, might be hard to see down here, but there are timing marks. Let me put a light on. Now for this next step, I will turn the ignition off. We don't need that anymore. We have the piston coming up on the compression stroke. Can you see down there? A little hard to see. That there is a tab near the, what do you call that thing? The pulley here. And you can see right there. See it right here? Of course you can't. My finger's in the way. There it is. This here. And it's hard to read, but that's 0 in the middle, and then it's has the before, so before top dead center and then after top dead center. So I'm going to set this on 0 first. But sometimes you can't go by these marks. There's a mark on the damper. That's what this is called. It's just about here. You can't see it yet. It's about to come up, but you'll see that in a second. Hold on. I'm using the fan to turn the engine. So there it is on 0. Take my skewer out. Now the directions say, in the directions, to rotate the crank shaft until the engine is approximately 5 to 10 degrees before top dead center on stroke 1. Okay, so I'm on 0 right now. It says to go 10 top dead center, which is to the left on this marker. And I wish I could see better. All right, so we're on 0 right now, and I am going to move the engine back. I wish I could see that scale. I think that says 5. Yeah, 10 is the second mark. I know you can't see this, so I'm going back. I'm going to go back to 10. All right, so I'm now on the 10 mark. All right. And if you don't believe me, I can show you. Hard to see because you can't see the pulley, but you can kind of see that white spot to the left. And that's on that line that says 10. Do you see it? All right, so that's where we are. Now we want to turn the rotor until it points about 15 degrees counterclockwise of the tape mark you made in step 5. There's a step 5. That's basically telling you where number one piston is, or number one setting on here. Now, that's basically, that's basically about 5 o'clock. Okay, 12 o'clock up here, 6 o'clock down here. You want this to be pointing roughly around 5 o'clock on here. And that lines up with the distributor. The mark on the distributor, see that little notch? That matches up to the notch on the distributor. And a lot of these caps will tell you what is one. But it's going to be the one closest to that notch, so which is right here. Oh, there it is. You can't see. There's a 1 right up there, or a line at least. All right, so that's where that should be pointing, and that kind of goes to the same thing. It's roughly, here's the cap, that's 12 o'clock, here's 1, and it's roughly like 5 o'clock. So that's how you kind of want your distributor pointing. All right, I'm going to try to get you guys in here. Okay, I got everything back together, and let's give this a try. What do you think? Is it going to kick off the first attempt? What do you know about that? All right, that worked for me. Woo! I swear I didn't do anything. Let's see, twisting this thing. Got a little warm up. And I'll probably take it for a test ride, I guess. I did not expect that to happen. But I guess when you follow the directions, that's what they're for. It's definitely bogging down. So, too much timing? I don't know.
I lost some video here of the test drive. No, say it isn't so. But anyway, the car ran fine but bogged down under load. That's not what we're looking for.
All right, so can you see down there? It's a little hard to see. I really can't adjust the distributor. It wants to go more advanced, I believe. And I can't do that because the bracket is hitting the block. So I think I have to kind of pull this out again. And of course now it's 1,000 degrees, and loosen that bolt. I think that bolt on the underside needs to go to the extreme the other way. So we're going to mess around with that because it does not have any oomph when you hit the throttle. Okay, and they have it dialed in now. Still see how it goes. I'd like to take a little break in the action to thank Organic Joe Coffee. All right, I wanted to slow down and explain the electronic distributor system. So what you get in the kit that I bought is this module, fancy high rev 750 model. Anyway, I'll have to patch this up, but what you want is a good ground for the case. So in my case, I just scratch down the metal, and I'll cover that up with some paint, and then just some mounting screws. Of course, I found ones laying around. Probably want to pick up some nice looking ones. Maybe I'll do that at some point. Next part is this connector, and I also noticed that there should be a screw that goes in here that holds everything together, but this is just a pressure fit. Put it in there. All the wires are pretty straightforward. You got this blue and yellow wire that goes over to the side of the balance resistor, and you can see that I kind of did a splice in here. And then this is also the power that goes to the automatic choke as well. Actually, it's this wire right here. Then what else do we have? We have this gray wire here, which I know it's hard to see, but if you go down there, that gets as much light as you want. You never have. This goes to the two wires that come off of the new distributor. See that down here? So that's the gray wire. This black and yellow wire right here, that goes to the negative side of the coil right here, and that's about it. Again, I just spent about 5 minutes looking for my phone, and twice it's been here. So if anybody wants to remind me next time. Anyway, I did find the screw to hold this connector to the module, and gonna tighten that on. We don't want that thing flying off in the middle of running down the highway, do we? All right, awesome. So I hope you can hear me as I walk up to the car. We're going to look at the timing, how I have that set. I am no expert by any means, but this is the way that I feel that the car runs the best. They all seem to like to have a little bit more timing, meaning the detonation happens a little sooner than when the piston comes to top dead center. Let's see what I had mine set for. First thing I want to do is talk about the timing light. This is one of those old-fashioned timing lights. What they call it, inductive. Yeah, right there, inductive. Basically, just shines a light when the #1 spark plug fires. They have digital ones, which are real nice, but they're really easy to hook up. Red goes to the positive, black goes to the negative on your battery, and then there's one more connection over here, which is this little clip, which gets put on the #1 spark plug wire, and that senses when current goes through there. All right, can you hear me? Is it good? So let's see what the timing is set for. I'm going to try to get you guys in there. You see that mark right there? Right in the middle. That's the white mark. That's what we're looking at. And this light, where is it? You see that flashing? That's actually from the light. You see it? And that flashes on that white. It tells you where your timing marks are. Make sure you're cognizant of where the fan is when you do this. All right, let's see if I can see that. Let's see if you can see it. It's kind of hard to see, but the other mark is where that belt is riding. And yeah, it's a little hard for you to see, but I can see that it's right before when you get to that plate. Let me see if we can do it this way. Okay, you can just see it right at the top of where that plate is, to the left. That's where the mark is right now. That's that little flash of white that you see right before. See it? Probably a better shot of it. See, it's like wiggling a little bit. Oh, another important thing is I always put the car in neutral, and then you also want to melted my screwdriver. That's pretty funny. The screwdriver kind of fell down there near the exhaust manifold. Anyway, that was pretty funny. You want to take the vacuum advance tube off of the vacuum advance pot of the distributor, which is down there. That's that pot. It looks similar to this. Well, it looks similar to this, but it's on the distributor. You want to block that off because the vacuum will give you more advance. And that's how you set your base timing. Now watch. I think that's a little high at 20. I'm going to move it back a little bit. Okay, that's right on that mark. Up there in the top, just blinks every now and then, that little white paint mark. Alright, now when I put the vacuum advance knob back on, see the screwdriver, that's fine. I know you can't see this, but I'm putting that tube on that pot. Here how the, so you can do that, the RPM will come up on the engine. And now if you were to look at that, you're not going to be able to see this because it's going to be way back there, but it's about an inch and a half before the top of that plate back there. I know it's hard to see. So that should be pretty good. Alright, it is a little more peppy now. It's me again. So I feel like I didn't end this video properly because I didn't really kind of go over a couple of steps, but I can't be more insistent that you kind of look at your own directions when you do this. But let me just go over a couple things. This has to do with initially installing the distributor into the car, into the engine. So we talked about this, finding top dead center on the compression stroke. Once you do that, at least in my directions, they said to set the timing marks either 5 to 10 degrees before top dead center. So that basically, if this is the bouncer, ignore this mark. But this mark on the bouncer, which you will only usually have one, and then the little tab on the engine, 0 in the middle, 10 and 5 before top dead center, and these are 5 to 10 degrees after top dead center. You want to align this mark with this mark with the engine on top dead center compression stroke number 1 cylinder. Then what you want to do is install the distributor, but you can't install the distributor straight down because it has a spiral gear at the bottom. So when you insert it, you have to kind of be 15 degrees different to where you want to end up. because once the gears engage into the camshaft, it'll naturally twist down. And what you want to try to do is get the number one cylinder at about the 5 o'clock position. So you got to envision that this is a clock. This would be 12 o'clock, up here 6 o'clock. And so you wanted that to be aligned about 5 o'clock. Then, this is with the cap on. You would take the cap off, and I'm sorry for my drawing, but you want the rotor inside the cap to be pointing to that same position, number one cylinder, about 5 o'clock. And then the other thing that you have to be cognizant of, and this takes some practice to get this in, because sometimes you can be a tooth off on that gear. So sometimes you have to pick this up again and maneuver it back, but you also have to get things aligned. And I got a better picture of this. Let's get on the computer here for a second. This piece inside the distributor, inside of an electronic distributor, is called a reluctor. And then this is the pickup. This is what happens when the car, the sensor and the reluctor meet. That's when the spark, the coil, this tells the coil when to ignite the spark or to send the spark. But this also has to be aligned properly. And here's a better picture of that. So this would be the reluctor. This is the pickup, and this little spot on the pickup and that tooth on the reluctor, doesn't matter which tooth, they have to be aligned. And then there's an air gap between them. On my distributor, they said to do it at 8/1000 of an inch, and you're supposed to use a non-metallic feeler gauge to set that. So it's sort of a happy marriage of placing the distributor in, twisting it properly to get the rotor pointing at the 5 o'clock position for number one cylinder, and then at the same time getting these two properly set. Once you do that, which took me a good long time to get perfectly straight, you should have no problem getting your base timing set. So I hope that helps. This is a little chaotic. I'm no expert. This is how I did it, but there's tons of great videos on YouTube that explain this a whole lot better than I could. So refer to them. If you have questions, I'm willing to help. Let me see. I think I've found a couple of videos. Mopar Joe, I think, has a really good video on this. Let me see. Right there. Mopar Ignition Solutions, 4 seconds flat. Mopar Joe. The Mopar Electronic Ignition Setup and Demonstration. Slant Six Garage. So there's other resources on how to exactly do this. All right, so I hope that helps. See you all. Listen, if you guys, anybody out there is in the Philadelphia metropolitan area, suburbs of, and you have a classic car you're fighting with, I'm looking for more content for my video channels, other cars that I could maybe do a little demonstration on, help out fixing some cars. So contact me if you have something like that. If you have a old car that you want to either donate or get rid of or sell cheap, I may be interested in that as well. I'm looking to work on some different cars since I'm getting near the end of the projects on my car, although I still have a bit more. But anyway, we'll see you next time. Please subscribe. If you have questions, please ask. And thank you for watching. Bye-bye.